Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Monday evening, so let's begin. First up, COVID-19 vaccine registration period underway for all people in New Hampshire, 40 and older. Many report smooth registration, readily available appointments. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Monday, the state opened up COVID vaccinations for Granite Staters 40 and over. Last Monday, numerous problems were reported as people over 50 trying to register, wait times exceeding an hour in some cases. Today, Francine Chandler logged on at 6 a.m.
I didn't expect to be able to do it until later, and as much glitches as I heard that were happening, I expected to have more glitches, and it was smooth all the way through, no issues at all.
I logged on and very quickly was able to get an appointment for tomorrow, which I was absolutely shocked. The whole process maybe took 10 minutes.
Chandler was able to do even better than that. By 8:50, she had her first shot.
Didn't even feel it go in, so that wasn't even a problem.
And the shot is bringing with it a sense of relief.
I have a few family members who have immunity problems that can't get the shot, so I'm able to see them and I'm able to help out.
The state estimates there are about 140,000 people eligible in the 40-plus group, but many have already been vaccinated, so the actual number may be closer to 75,000. And the state says there are plenty of appointments.
We're way under capacity, and the appointments are there. We have 100,000 appointments there, so everything is really good right now.
Something Darren Apitchell can attest to.
I got on early this morning figuring, it's gonna be crushed today, and it worked out perfectly.
Homer says the state can count on getting about 45,000 doses a week of the various vaccines, and New Hampshire remains on track to make sure that everyone has their first shot by the end of May. Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. No new deaths as COVID-19 cases climb slightly in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Head to Quirk Kia in Manchester or QuirkKiaNH.com, our dealership at your doorstep. This month, you can lease the new 2021 Kia Sportage LX for just $129 a month, and Quirk will deliver to you. Visit QuirkKiaNH.com.
And now to the current coronavirus numbers in New Hampshire. There are 272 new cases today. Active cases sit at 2,700. Current hospitalizations down to 73. And there are no new deaths, but 1,237 Granite Staters have died since the start of the pandemic.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Tens of thousands lose power in New Hampshire because of gusty winds. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
We've been at this for a year, but the light is ahead, and it invites us not to go back to where we left off, but to break through. This is our moment to build something new.
Whipping winds pushed through New Hampshire Monday, at times reaching 50 miles per hour. The force toppled trees, which pulled down power lines and caused significant damage to homes and vehicles.
The whole house shook.
Helene Bouchard and her husband had quite the scare after this tree came down on their Goffstown home.
The firemen said that the tree was probably 100 feet long, so it extended beyond our house, which fell on our vehicles.
It's a scene that was repeated in several other towns, including here in Barrington. And in Ware, SAU 24 had to adjust its dismissal plans after a tree took down wires at the district bus terminal.
The tree did fall on one of our bus drivers' cars, but everyone was okay.
The wind also had utility companies on their toes, responding to tens of thousands of outages.
Right now, we've got about 12,500 members out. And right now, our line crews are really focused on public safety.
As the strong winds continue and we continue to take on additional outages, it's about, ensuring that we ship resources to the hardest hit areas of the state.
It's going to be a fluid situation. People may get their power back. They may lose power again. This is going to be what we call a long duration event.
And again, some people may not have their power back until tomorrow. Utility companies are stressing if you come across a down line, assume it is live. Do not touch it. Instead, report it to your provider or dial 911. Reporting live in Manchester, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. While some get COVID-19 after vaccination, experts say the vaccine still provides protection. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Well, the whole point of the vaccine program is to reduce hospitalizations and deaths. And from that standpoint, the experts say it is clearly working. Now, health officials say an individual's immune system isn't fully protected until 2 weeks after the final shot, and that the immunity that comes from the vaccine is still stronger than natural immunity. But as the number of people being vaccinated grows, they say we could see a very small percentage infected despite getting the shot, like Dr. Amy Sabota. 2 months after being vaccinated, she got a runny nose and tested positive, but she's still a believer.
I fully believe that that's what made me have such very mild symptoms.
Those who had the vaccine essentially have mild to no symptoms, and confirming that the vaccines do work.
Now, according to the state epidemiologist, initial studies suggest that shedding the virus is still lower among vaccinated individuals. That's the amount we actually carry. So that helps reduce the spread. But that until studies continue and more data emerges, that we should continue to use masks and mitigation strategies. We're live in Portsmouth, Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Lunch poses challenges for schools returning full-time in-person learning. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Dartmouth-Hitchcock has the most comprehensive orthopedic care available. Make an appointment today and get back to active.
Anytime you do something new, there's going to be a bump in the road here and there. And for us, it happened to be plexiglass.
The superintendent says only half the order came in, so they're improvising in the cafeteria. It looks like this. Lunch periods are 400 students at a time.
It was either we cancel phase 3 and wait for the plexiglass, or we just continue on and use this part-time fix.
I was sitting at a table with cardboard and I could talk to the person next to me, but the person across from me, I had to talk through the person next to me.
Lindsay Campbell says the mood at the high school Monday was mixed.
50% excited, 50% just sort of over it. Everyone is over it. The principal, the teachers, the students, everyone just wants something, some sort of consistency.
The Beau Dunbarton School District has been back full-time since March 15th. They, too, had to get creative in the cafeterias.
Lunch is the very toughest thing you face. In the middle school, we struggled a little bit. It's a little bit tight. For a while, there were kids eating in hallways, and that was not good at all.
Dr. Cascadden says last fall, the Boy Scouts built partitions from PVC piping and plastic sheeting that they're still using today.
It's been a hard year, no question about it. But there are some good things that are going to come out of here, an educational change that's really going to be good for good for kids.
And in Bo, educators are now looking ahead to the future with plans to continue some of the technology and individualized learning that they proved they could accomplish during remote learning. For some students, that option is a real boon. Reporting live, Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video in that report. Uber Eats driver killed in carjacking by teens. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
To that horrific story out of D.C., a carjacking that left a delivery driver there dead. But now 2 teenage girls, ages 15 and 13, have been charged with assaulting him with a stun gun, leading to the crash that killed him. A lot of questions being asked now, including if services like Uber Eats need to do more to protect drivers. Our Ariel Reshef joins us now with the very latest. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, TJ. That deadly attack on a 66-year-old Uber Eats driver happened in broad daylight, 4:30 p.m. as he was trying to deliver food. Those 2 teen suspects arrested in a shocking and senseless crime.
This morning, 2 teenage girls arrested, charged with felony murder and armed carjacking after police say they violently attacked and killed an Uber Eats driver in Washington, D.C. Police say the suspects, just 13 and 15 years old, were in the process of trying to steal 66-year-old Mohammed Anwar's car when one of them used a taser on him as they tried to speed off, which police say led to the deadly car crash, the car flipping over, Anwar ejected. He was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, but did not survive. The teens arrested at the scene. Anwar's loved ones calling the sudden loss immeasurable, telling ABC News the father of 3 and grandfather of 4 moved to the U.S. from Pakistan in 2014 to build a better life for himself and his family.
It's more than tragic. I don't even know if that word describes what happened. It's senseless.
Police say they've seen a spike in carjackings in Washington, D.C. and in several other major cities since the pandemic began. In 2020, 345 carjackings were reported in the nation's capital, more than double the year before. The city launching a task force just last month to help focus on these incidents.
Because it's very important that we find out the people who are responsible for these carjackings and that we have justice.
Uber drivers nationwide have been on alert after a string of attacks. Earlier this month, a San Francisco Uber driver was assaulted and taunted by belligerent passengers, authorities arresting one of the passengers and charging another with attempted robbery and assault. Uber now teaming up with law enforcement who are available to work with police 24 hours a day to respond to urgent calls. The company telling ABC News, "We are devastated by this tragic news and our hearts go out to Mohammed's family during this difficult time."
And Uber says that it is grateful these suspects were arrested. Police not releasing their identities because they are juveniles. Both teens have pleaded not involved, which is the adult equivalent of not guilty. TJ.
All right, Ariel Resha for us. Thank you so much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.